Hi everyone, I wanted to do a video really quickly about the new documentary that was just released on Netflix. Return of the King, the rise and fall of Elvis Presley. I wanted you guys to hear my review of it, and then I want to hear your comments. So be sure and leave me a message down below. Start talking it up among yourselves. I want to know what you guys are feeling and all of those things. My thoughts are that I loved all of the footage on Elvis, on just Elvis. Every bit of it was just, I can't get enough seeing him. That being said, some of the commentary I could have done without. A big part of the commentary I could have done without. In all honesty, I think it would be really, really cool for someone to do a documentary where they just take some of the footage from the 68 and then his different concerts in Vegas, and just do a montage where all we see is Elvis without a lot of the different people's opinions and that kind of stuff. Maybe a narrator in the background would be okay to me. And I know you guys know what I'm about to say. I could so completely have done without Priscilla on this thing, and the fact she's a producer is just mind-blowing. And I had someone, and I apologize that I don't remember exactly who it was, but I had somebody write a comment on my Facebook page and ask, isn't it funny that Priscilla has so much going on with Bridget, and she's doing all these shows, and yet, you know, she's being a producer of this Elvis show, and why, if she isn't allowed at Graceland and isn't doing things through Elvis Presley Enterprises, is she being able to produce these shows? I have no answer for that. I wish I did. I would love to. I tried to do a little bit of digging, but didn't get very far into exactly how she's able to do that. Maybe they didn't have to have Graceland's, obviously, they didn't have to have Graceland's blessing, because look at what happened with the cartoon that they did, you know, with Elvis and Agent King, or Agent Elvis, whatever they're calling it now. She produced that and was one of the producers, and she didn't have Graceland's blessing because I don't think they cared for it at all. So I don't know what she's doing. I guess she may be still living off her fame from being married to him. I mean, really, in all honesty, yeah, she did some movies and she was in Dallas, but what she will forever be known for is she was the wife of Elvis Presley and the mother of Lisa Marie. So let's get past that. I will probably come back to some more things about her that I did not like before this is over, because every time she would come on, I was just like, shut up. Shut up. I would just love to see more footage of just Elvis, and maybe just a narrator in the background saying, okay, this was during a such and such time. This is what was going on in his life at the time, and let's look how he responded in the way he did shows and that type of thing. I agree that this show, the 68 Singer Special, which later got dubbed the Comeback Special, was pivotal in Elvis's career. And I loved how they showed some of the out clips where he was getting so frustrated and aggravated, especially during the scenes that were like not him just singing, where it was him singing and acting at the same time. It's like he was just so over it at that point. And I liked seeing that because it gave you an idea of where he was. Um, when they did the close up on him for the opening scene, when he's standing there in the black with the scarf, and he's got his guitar and he's singing, and you could see right before he started the look in his eyes, like he was nervous, he was scared, he was vulnerable. I mean, he knew this was critical, that he needed to prove to everyone out there that he could still rock it. He could still be Elvis Presley, the one who started the whole rock and roll revolution. I mean, so much had changed from the time that, in between the time he came back from the army, he did all the movies, there were so many new people coming on the scene. And Elvis was basically releasing songs, movie track songs. And yes, some of them were very successful, some of them not, but it wasn't what he wanted to do. And I thought it was interesting how that they played the clip of Elvis, and we've heard it before from an interview he did, where he said, Hollywood's image of me was wrong, and I knew it, and I couldn't do anything about it. I didn't know what to do. I just felt I was obligated to things I didn't fully believe in. At a certain stage, I had no say-so in it. I didn't have final approval of the script, which means I couldn't say this is not good for me, and so I became very discouraged. They couldn't have paid me no amount of money in the world to make me feel I had any satisfaction inside. And that's just sad to me. It shows his frustration. But what absolutely got me so excited, and it does every single time I see it, is when he is on that stage and those people are sitting around him and he starts feeling the audience respond to him, and he is giving it everything he's got, and you can't help but get excited. I couldn't. I was like, yeah, there he is. There's my guy. There he is. That's him. I mean, he mesmerized them. Priscilla's comment about how sexy he was when she saw him walk out in the black leather and like, oh, I'm married to him? Yeah, you didn't know that to begin with? I mean, come on. And you're sitting up on the back row with your dance instructor that you've been messing around with? I mean, come on. And yeah, I know that Elvis had something going with Susan Hennings. I know that too. But it's just, I'm like, then if you thought he was so great, then why did you continue down the path you were going? I told you I would end up getting back to it. I'm sorry, I just can't leave it alone. But that really did not sit well with me at all. I'm just like, come on, Priscilla. I'm tired of your narrative. I'm tired of everything you have to say. When they were watching the clip, she and Jerry, of Old MacDonald, him sitting on the tailgate from Double Trouble, and he was singing Old MacDonald, and she was saying things like, oh, that is just embarrassing, or how was it she said exactly? She said that it was a crime. Those were her words. That to me is a crime. Okay. But here's the thing. Even though Elvis was so frustrated with those movies, and my heart hurts for him because he was, and the fact that the Colonel knew that he was so upset about it, they were making so much money that the Colonel didn't want to give that up. And when Elvis bucked the script on one of them, the Colonel and, all of these people show up at Elvis's house and said, well, if you don't do this, you're finished, you're done. I mean, you've got to do these. You have to do these or there's not going to be any money. That breaks my heart for him. It really, truly does. But I don't know that Elvis ever realized how much we, his fans, liked a lot of those movies because it was our all we had to be able to see of him. He wasn't doing concerts, he wasn't performing, and shame on the Colonel for that. I mean, why couldn't he have done some concerts in between? And yeah, I know he was spitting out what 3 movies a year, and but they were finishing a lot of them in less than a month's time. So maybe Elvis needed a break. I don't know, but I would think that the Colonel could have done something to let him use his creative abilities instead of stifling him in that environment. This is just opinion according to Rhonda, so y'all can do with it as you will. But it's just some things I'm throwing out. Okay, so back to the show. I loved the reaction of the audience. I loved Elvis's response to the audience. And yes, it is things that we have seen for us Elvis fans 100 times over, but there are new people coming along, and this might be one of their first exposures of seeing this 68 comeback special and seeing how he affected people and hearing that unbelievable voice and that charisma that he had. I mean, oh my gosh, how can you sit there and watch that show and not be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, he's killing it. I mean, and you could see it in his face. You could read it in his body language. He knew he was on top of it again. He still had the audience right there in the palm of his hand. I mean, Elvis never lost that. And it's just a shame that he had to go for several years and not get to experience that. But yeah, I read somebody else said one time that, we all have stages in our life, and there are, we have this part, and then every great entertainer, they said, have like a 3 parts of their career, and Elvis was the beginning, and then it was the movies, and then it was the tours and stuff again that started from the 68 comeback special. But it still breaks my heart for him that middle part of his career wasn't something he was proud of. Even though we as fans loved a lot of those movies, I loved them, but he hated that part, and that is sad to me. It was also sad to me that they titled this as The Fall and Rise of Elvis Presley. So I guess they were talking about the fall in the movie years and the rise from the 68 comeback. But one of the people that was narrating basically led you to believe that after he finished doing the ending song of If I Can Dream, it was like that was his last great hurrah. I disagree with that. I think Elvis had many, many major milestones after the 68 comeback special. Lest we forget what he did in Vegas. Lest we forget what he did on Aloha from Hawaii. I mean, he was just, it reignited his career, the 68 did. Completely did. And yes, I think Elvis got tired at the very end, but I still would love to see all of those, just a montage of, let's take from 68 all the way through 77 and just watch what he did. Because even in 77, the man's voice was incredible. He never, ever lost command of that voice, and how he could make you feel from listening to his music. Still to this day, I can put on an Elvis album and listen to a certain song and get chill bumps or even have a tear slide down my face because of, depending on what I'm going through, what my mood is, his songs can lift me up and make me happy and want to dance and jump around and sing, or they can touch my soul with the lyrics and the emotion he put into every single thing he recorded. I realize I am kind of all over the place with this video, but it's just some things that I've been thinking about where since I watched it and my thoughts on what I felt about it. Like I said, I thought the footage of Elvis was wonderful, absolutely adored every minute of it, would get excited every time they would show him and he was killing it on a song, and I was like, that's him, that's my God, that's my God. And I definitely think I could have done without some of the commentary. I'm not saying it was all bad. It wasn't. Some of the things they said were really good and on point. But I would have rather seen more Elvis. Less others and more Elvis. For me, it's always more Elvis. We can't ever get enough of it. And maybe that's because back in the day, the Colonel didn't let us get exposed to a lot of him one-on-one. To, like they said in the documentary, they said what they wanted to portray was what was going on when they weren't filming scenes. Sitting there in the dressing room, jamming with the guys. That was Elvis. That's what they wanted people to see, because that's something that we never knew before 68. We didn't ever get to see that side of him because the Colonel kept him so sheltered and didn't allow a lot of interviews and those kind of things. We never got that rare glimpse into Elvis and the private side of him. So when we get those insights, it's fascinating and we love it. We absolutely love it. So, well, this is just my little short review of what I thought about the new Netflix documentary. Please let me know what you guys think. And if you have not subscribed to my channel and you like what you see, please be sure and do that. Hit the bell. It will notify you of all my upcoming shows. I appreciate all of you so much for your loyal subscriptions and your loyal following. It means the world to me. And you guys are very special. So thank you for all of your concern for my husband and everything we're going through. I do appreciate it more than words can ever convey. Remember, you only get one shot at this life, so live each day to the fullest, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. See you next time, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you.